And so, like you said, you see something, you don't want to just leave it there. How are give us some good questions that we could ask to see kind of where the kid is or where the youth is in light of that.
Literally, something as simple as something my grandma always taught me. Good morning.
Good morning.
Literally just speaking. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people don't want to speak. Just literally telling somebody good morning and then they'll respond to you. And then next thing is, ask them how are they doing. Mm-hmm. And then from gauging, I'm the type of person, I'm a vessel. Mm-hmm. So how you respond lets me know which direction I need to go. Because see, if you respond to me and you say, and I ask you, and I say, how are you doing? You be like, I'm all right. Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's right.
Hold on. Now I'm finna encourage you, and I'm gonna see do you come up or if you stay at a low. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So if you come up, I know that maybe you was just having a bad moment. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You probably was just having a bad moment and you didn't think about it. But if you go down and you're down there and you stay there, okay, we need to dive deeper. It's more to this than that.
Welcome to the Americus podcast. My name is John Schroeder, and today I am joined by my friend, Latosha Push. She is the founder and CEO of People Moving Forward. And I just want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
No, thank you, John, for having me today.
That's great. So we actually know each other, but we're going to get into that in just a minute. But I would love to hear just what does it look like to be in your shoes for a day?
Wow. So to be in my shoes for today, I get up in the morning with prayer, doing my affirmations. I am trying my best on a consistent basis to keep my workouts. Yeah. Good health. Health is wealth. And then I just started something new that is so powerful. So now I started, because I'm a full-time entrepreneur. So now I have a 8 a.m. meeting. You know, like if you was on a job and you had an issue, who would you talk to?
You talk to the person in charge, right?
You talk to the person in charge. So now at 8 a.m., I have a meeting with God. First, I do praise and worship for my business. And then me and Jesus have a conversation. And then we go down the list, the bills, who we need to follow up with, all the things that need to be done in the business, because I want to make sure I'm the best version of myself for this business. I want to be a good stewardess over this business. So why am I not seeking the person who gave me the business?
Yeah.
So I absolutely love that now. I absolutely love it.
That's great. So let me ask you this. I know you, but your last name caught me off guard because we went through your phone, through the online form. So your last name right now is Push. So tell me a little bit about that name so the audience kind of gets the chance to know that.
You can turn it off.
Yeah. It's okay.
Sorry.
It's all right. Had a little... Somebody's calling, man. Just making sure.
No, it's an alarm.
Oh, it is? Okay.
It's an alarm. I thought I turned them all off.
That's okay.
So that's another thing. See, I do gratitude's alarm. I set alarm. Yeah.
That's right.
So I set different alarms to remind you to be grateful throughout the day.
Yeah.
So, because we'll be complaining.
That's right.
So it keeps you from complaining if you set gratitude alarms at different times throughout the day.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Are we good, probably? Do you want to keep going? Do you want me to? All right, awesome. Yeah, he tells me what I'm supposed to do, right? So tell me a little bit about your last name.
So I changed my last name to Push. And the reason being is, so I was at the school one day. I was talking to the youth. I love to talk to the kids at the school. And I had gave them this acronym, PUSH.
Okay.
So it stands for positivity, uniqueness, service, humble. And if every day you just apply a little push to your day, no matter the situation, then you can overcome the challenges. So after I talked to the kids, they loved it. About 2 months later, I saw one of the little boys in the store and he was like, hey, Miss Push, Miss Push, Miss Push. And I just looked at him and I was just so surprised that he didn't remember my name.
That's right.
But he remembered what I taught him.
That's
So
good.
then when, I went back to branding and I was like, you know what, Latosha Williams, I love you, but there are 50 million Latosha Williams in the world.
That's right.
So I changed my last name to Latosha Push because this is what I do. I push people. And this is what I'm gifted at.
That's great. That's great. All right. So, yeah, tell us a little bit about your life before we get to kind of what you're doing now. Tell me a little bit about growing up. You're from Preston, Georgia. So that's a little town that I know of that I've been a part of as well. So tell me a little bit about growing up.
Man, so I grew up, like you say, in Preston. I love my hometown, love where it is from, where I'm from. Preston is different because it's that neighbor.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Everybody still knows each other. It's still a small country town. So I'm blessed enough that I have so much family there. And so it allows me to do certain things that a lot of people didn't get to do. I get to just run to my auntie house, run to my grandmother's house, run to my granddaddy's house. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I grew up with my cousins, us being so close-knit of a family. It was a really big blessing to grow up in Preston.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me a little bit about your family. Did you have your mom and dad in the picture? Did you have siblings? Tell me a little bit about just kind of growing up.
Yes, so I'm blessed enough. Shout out to my parents because they are the reasons why I'm here today.
Awesome.
It's because of the fact, I grew up, I have a mom and my dad, and I have a sister. I have two sisters and a brother.
Okay.
And I'm blessed enough that I'm the baby.
Yep. Yep.
I am the baby of the family, so I get to be spoiled.
Yep. Absolutely.
But I grew up, I had my grandparents. Growing up, I tell people I lived a different type of lifestyle that I think is right. So my grandparents had a juke joint.
Okay.
So growing up in a juke joint, and that's the business that they're on, and going to church.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
literally, I thought that was fine. That's normal to hang out on Saturday night, and you best believe on Sunday morning we're going to be in church. But I come from a family of entrepreneurs that I never really realized.
Wow.
I'm blessed enough. My granddaddy, he just transitioned last year. My grandmother, December of last year, she's been gone 20 years.
Okay.
But they taught us the value of family and the value of knowing who you are.
Yeah.
My grandmother was the neighborhood candy lady. Her name was Alcine Lyles. So,
Yeah.
all the kids would come over to her to get their candies, their pickles, and, their
that's
different
great.
snacks. So she taught us at an early age that, hey, you can create something. She left work to stay at home and raise all the grandkids while her children went. So we were blessed enough to have her in our lives. And then my granddaddy, together they had a juke joint.
Yes.
And the crazy thing is, one year we did family trivia, right? And so in our family, we're blessed enough, we rotate holidays. And so me and my sister wanted the younger kids to know more about our grandparents who, they didn't grow up spending the summer with them. And I asked my mom, I was like, well, when did mama and dad, start this juke joint? And she was like, Tasha, they actually had 3 other juke joints. And I was like, huh? Really?
Wow.
She was like, go ask your granddaddy. So I went, sat down, talked to my granddad, and I was like, Daddy, y'all had, 3 other juke joints. Like, tell me what y'all got going on.
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
let me know what y'all be doing. So he told me, he said the first 2 juke joints, they got closed down because he didn't have a proper license. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the third one, it got burned down by a gentleman who was jealous because he had the same establishment as my granddaddy.
Okay.
The very next night, my granddaddy opened another juke joint.
Wow.
And so I
Resilient.
Yes.
Love
I asked my granddaddy, I was like, wait, Daddy. I was like, 2 got closed down, 1 got burned down. I was like, why didn't you just quit? I was like, I would have just quit at this point.
Yeah.
3 failed businesses. You know what? This is not for me. My granddaddy looked at me. He said, Booger. He said, what is quit? He said, I had your grandmother and 6 kids to raise. He said, there's no such thing as quit.
Yeah.
And I was blessed enough because he didn't quit. They went on to have the 4th juke joint, which was the first one I got to see in my lifetime. And then later on, he got another one. So he had 5 juke joints. And the most blessed thing about my granddaddy was my granddaddy didn't know how to read. He didn't know how to read. And I didn't even know he didn't know how to read until I was in high school. And so one day I went to him. I was like, Daddy, they say you don't know how to read. And my granddaddy looked at me and he said, just because the sign says toilet and the person does not know how to read it doesn't mean they don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
So, I've been blessed
That's a
enough.
good granddad. That's grit. I love it. Just resilient. That's amazing.
I've been blessed enough to have so many life lessons from grandparents, from my parents, from siblings, from cousins that it's not even funny. I tell people I wouldn't trade growing up in the country for nothing in the world.
Yeah,
Nothing.
absolutely. So you're obviously you're a very energetic person. Right now, were you like that growing up as well? Like being a kid, were you out there? Were you an extrovert? Were you an introvert? Tell me a little bit about like your personality growing up and your relationships.
A lot of people are surprised, but I am an introvert.
Yeah.
People are surprised, but I am very quiet. Growing up, when I was about 7 years old, I was diagnosed with epilepsy.
Okay.
So with epilepsy, it causes you to have seizures. So early on, I used to have to go to the doctor a lot. And I missed a lot of days out of school, and they didn't know what was wrong with me. But I tell anybody, based upon prayer, my parents' faith, and me never saying I was sick, my body was healed. I'll tell anybody, God can heal your body through anything. It all depends on what's up here, what's in your mind. If you think about it, you have kids. Kids can be running around. They got 105 temperature, and you can ask them. You be looking at them like, you should be sitting down, and they run around tearing the house up. It's because it's what's in your mind. So growing up, diagnosed with epilepsy, but I never said I was sick. I still went on. I had blessed people in my life. Miss Ivory Crawford, she's transitioned on. She told my mom, you need to let this baby play basketball.
Yeah.
So I was on the basketball team, and that kind of started me to being a little bit more, open.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? To push me a little further, because basketball was a different type of sports. You have to be on the team, but you need to personal development. You got to develop yourself. So when I started playing basketball, it kind of made me come out my shell a little bit more.
Yes.
And then as time went on, I've always been an encouraging person. I may not talk, may not say a lot, but I used to get in trouble on my report card. So this is for anybody who had this on your report card. Latosha talks excessively.
Yes.
And what I used to always try to tell them was I was not talking. People were always talking to me.
Yeah. You were just encouraging. You were just like, yes, that sounds great.
Yes, people used to always love to talk to me. And I couldn't really understand, because I'm the one who's going to give you the truth. Like raw and uncut. Do not ask me a question if you don't want the truth. If you want it sugar coated, don't ask me.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to give it to you raw and uncut. And people used to always just love to come talk to me.
Yeah.
So from there, I'm just going to tell them like it is.
Yeah.
And then I just started, as I got to, high school. When I got into high school, I became a little bit more confident in who I was and myself, still encouraging people. But it wasn't until I got to college.
Yeah.
Now, when I got to college and, I was away from all my family, all my friends, and I was all by myself, I really got to learn truly who I was.
Yeah.
And I just got to be me, just got to be my authentic self. And it really pushed me to a different level.
Yeah. So, little known fact to the people that are listening right now, we had a conversation right before the podcast, and we're getting the chance to, kind of hear about our backgrounds. And so Latosha says Preston. I said, yeah, I know Preston. I've been, I kind of went to Webster County for a little bit. Then I went to Tri-County, and then her eyes lit up. Then my eyes lit up. And I said, what year did you graduate? She said 2002, correct?
Yes.
And I graduated in 2003. So my sister, and we went to the same high school together, which, currently I don't think it's being used at all at this point. It's a great location, but currently, it's amazing to know how the Lord just kind of puts us back together to see each other. And then, so tell me about just being in high school. You talked about kind of opening up a little bit. Other than basketball, were there other things that helped you and influenced you? Anything that just kind of stood out?
Yeah, so in high school, I also was in a band. I did band and I did track.
What'd you play?
Clarinet.
No, wow.
Yeah, okay. I did clarinet. I didn't do basketball all 4 years of high school, but I did band and I did track.
Okay.
And then I was also a part of the debate team. What truly, truly changed me in high school was I was a part of Upward Bound
Okay.
and Talent Search. So I love those programs. In this area, they're not in existence a lot anymore. I think over here in Americus, they still do have Upward Bound, but that was an amazing program. So it allowed the kids to leave high school and go to college.
Yeah. Yeah.
And during the summer, you spent the summer during the college working on your SAT scores, and you stayed on campus.
Yeah.
So that really exposed me to more while I was still in high school. So it helped me mature faster because I can see different things.
Yeah.
I was allowed to go different places. We visit colleges all throughout the state of Georgia.
Yeah.
We went to plays, went on different field trips. So programs like that really made a big difference.
Now, when everyone else in high school, I don't want to say everyone, but the majority of people in high school are just trying to get in relationships, trying to have fun, trying to do some crazy stuff. What's in your mind that says, no, I want to be a part of this Upward Bound. I want to go ahead and think about my future. What were some things that just kind of helped you to stay like that?
Well,
Not saying that we didn't have any fun in high school. I'm saying, but
I'm trying to tell you because I was doing,
but what brought you into that environment to think like that?
because I mean it was just principles, just foundation. So I'm gonna tell you one thing about my mama.
Yep.
My mama was gonna put you in some programs.
Yeah. She signed you up.
She allowed me to do different programs before then. She had me in 4-H.
Okay.
She allowed me to be in 4-H before I got to Upward Bound. So it opened the world for me to start looking at other programs.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like you said, I had fun. I had so much fun in high school, but I knew that these programs are going to be a part of my future.
Yeah.
So I'm one of the biggest people, especially like when I got to college, people can understand how I party and still make the dean list.
Yeah.
It's because I know that you have to have balance. In life, you have to have balance. Yes, you're going to have fun. Yes, you want to play, but you need to have some structure. And so that's what, opened the doors to me when I started seeing these programs. Okay, I need to be a part of this. And it's free. Okay, can I be a part of this? Asking my parents, can I be a part of this? And it turned out to be something great.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the transition into college then. So you graduate from Tri-County in 2002. 2003 was probably the best year that I know Tri-County had, but
no. That class.
So yeah, that's right. So you're leaving. Where do you end up? Where are you going?
So for the summer, because I was in Upward Bound, you get to do the summer for free at Georgia Southwestern.
Okay.
So you get to take 2 classes. So my first summer, they send you straight to school.
Yep.
So while everybody else is chilling, I'm in college.
Okay.
And getting that first college experience out the way, I think it was a great lesson because that first, that summer, I failed the class and passed the class.
Yeah.
I had an A and a D.
Wow. Okay.
Which was really different. It was like, how you got an A and how you got a D?
Were they different subjects or were they?
They were.
Yeah.
They were totally different subjects, but it taught me, one, how you need to open your mouth and ask for help.
Yeah.
2, how you need to show up when you go to class.
Yeah.
It makes a ton of difference. Most people are like, oh, this is just college. I'll wear anything. I'll, get there on time. I'll sit in the back room. No.
Yeah.
When a professor sees you sitting in front of the room, they look at how you dress. They're more likely to give you help. And then that just goes on throughout life. How you show up when you go to a job interview, when you're talking to people. It really changed my dynamics because the classes were at 2 different times.
Okay.
That class I got a D in was a early morning class.
Okay.
I go jogging pants, t-shirts. You see what I'm saying? I'm barely moving. And the professor had a monotone voice. So, I'm in the head just dozing. Dozing.
Yeah.
So, it really made a difference. Now, that evening class, I was ready.
Yeah.
I was excited. You see what I'm saying? So I really learned that you got to pay attention to how you show up.
Yes.
When you're doing different things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I tell my kids, we have like 10 principles, and one of the principles is always look your best. And and it just helps because you're not just an individual out in the world and everything is about you. You have to consider the reality that, God's first, your family, and then others, and so you've got to be able to present yourself in a way that is helpful to other people and
Right.
encouraging other people. And so, yeah, we always say dress your best, look
Yeah.
good. Or at least, keep yourself clean, nice, organized, right? A little bit.
Definitely. My grandmother used to have a saying, we used to, look at her and my mom too. We were like, where you going? And my grandmother used to always tell her, you may not have any money in your pocket, but if you got some clothes, put them on and look like you got some money.
That's right. All right. So, all right, college, what are you getting a degree in? Where are you going as far as a career path at that stage?
So I left Georgia Southwestern for the summer. Then I went to Georgia Military College.
Okay.
In Milledgeville, Georgia, because I was gonna go in the Air Force. Gonna go in the Air Force full time. However, the war broke out and my plans quickly changed. I told them that's okay, because I don't want to go. I'm a country child.
Yeah.
No. And at that time, you used to get education waivers. So I just finished my time there and graduated early. Okay. So I got my associate's degree from Georgia Military College, came back home. I wanted to go to Georgia State, got accepted to Georgia State, was supposed to move in with some friends in the fall. They came home. They decided they didn't want to go back to school.
Okay.
So now I'm looking around like, what you gonna do? I didn't want to, stay with my parents, so I ended up at Columbus State. And best decision, best place for me to be. End up crossing Zeta Phi Beta sorority. So, I mean, it was the best decision. I majored in criminal justice, got my bachelor's degree from there.
Nice. I love it. I went to Columbus State University for about a year, I think. Great little campus, great little area. Columbus has grown, obviously, over the last 15 years. Probably 20 years. I forget how old I am. So what takes you from graduating to being here in Americus and being a part of the community here and doing what you're doing with people moving forward?
So after I graduated, I did end up getting married, moved to Cuthbert, Georgia. And then once I got a divorce, I ended up in Americus.
Okay.
But for my professional career, I did 12 years from some type of public service that was ranging from corrections to counselor to community service coordinator, probation, all the way up into working with Department of Homeland Security and Department of Justice over a 12-year span. And it all stemmed around men. So then when I was around after, about 7-8 years in, this was my first, real full-time professional job. I was like, it got to be more to life than working this 9 to 5. It got to be more to this. So then I really started doing, some searching and asking God, what should I be doing? Am I really doing what it is I want to do? Because I really can operate in the job at the capacity I want it to operate in, because there are rules, there are policies, and you see things all the time working in public service that's not right. You see laws that need to be changed, and it's your job to implement these laws. But your character sitting here looking like, this is not right. And so then you have to make decisions whether it's your 9 to 5 or, you see what I'm saying, whether you want to go against the grain.
Yeah.
So that really tugged at me. It really, really took a toll on me. It really took a toll on me just daily, and I didn't want to do it anymore. So I changed and I go to a different field, and I'm like, it's the same thing over here. So just literally sitting down, and I was like, God, what am I supposed to be doing? So I've been speaking in church my entire life. My mother was the youth director, so I've been in church speaking. And so I just, one day after I got the divorce, I just got on the internet and I just started encouraging other people because I was going through so much. So I had already started on this weight loss journey, had lost all this weight. So it just started me getting on the internet, just talking about, you could lose weight. And then it went from that to me just literally just doing daily motivation. Before I go into the job, I was just motivating other people. And I had this good morning, everyone. I just had this good morning. And then after a while, I was like, I don't even know why I'm doing this. I'm just getting on Facebook. I don't even know why I'm doing this. I'm being late to work trying to upload these videos on Facebook, because this is before Facebook Live. And I'm sitting in the parking lot trying to upload a video, and I'm about to be late for work. I done got 2 warnings. Tasha, you better not be late no more. So one day, literally, I was going into the job And somebody was like, Tasha, I haven't heard you say good morning lately. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you listen? I was like, yeah, I listen to you. I listen to you. I be in the parking lot and I listen to you. And it really dawned on me that words were so powerful.
Yeah.
Even though I was going through a tough time, even though I was going through a challenge, I still took the time to encourage others, and other people needed it.
Yeah.
So then I started taking it serious. You see what I'm saying? I started, like, you know what? I really do enjoy this. I really do like this.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, who is it that I want to help? Who do I want to service? And then I reflected back when I was diagnosed with epilepsy. And at first I started saying, people with, I don't like the word disability. Mm-hmm. I do not like that word because you're not disabled. You have an ability. Mm-hmm. So at first I started saying, people with ability, not disability. And then I was like, but I don't just service them. I service everybody. Mm-hmm. So then it transitioned from that to people moving forward. Mm. Because no matter the situation that you go through, no matter whether it's a divorce, no matter whether it's a sickness, no matter whether it's losing a family member, you can move forward. Mm-hmm. So it transitioned from while I was still working my 9 to 5, I created People Moving Forward. Yeah. And that was in 2015. Mm. So what I did was I gave myself a 5-year plan. And I tell anybody, when you look at my Facebook page, I will not take it down. It has my background says speaker, coach, author under my name. And that's because I said I'm giving myself 5 years because I'm still working. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm going to be a paid speaker, a paid coach. And I just threw author on the end because some people I was hanging with at the time, all of them had books and I needed something with 3.
Yeah.
So I just threw author. Yeah, I was like, I ain't going to never do that. I'm just going to put it on the end. And so I worked. I worked on becoming a paid speaker, got my first speaking engagement, got paid for it. And then I decided I wanted to coach people. I wanted to be a mentor. So I created a coaching program and I started coaching people and I got paid for that. Yeah. And everything I did first, I gave my service away for free. I tell people you have to be a service to people first and then you can get paid for it. Because people will want to pay you when you do a good enough job.
Yeah. So
I just took action and then I did that. And then in 2020, when COVID hit, I was sitting at home and God was like, you need to write this book. And when I say I fought. I was like, I'm writing a book. Yeah. I was like, because it was for men. I was like, what I look like trying to tell men how to be a king. I was like, I'm not writing this book. I ain't got time for people's opinions. Like, I self-sabotage myself. I tell people nobody else can tell me about this because I did it to me first. I did it to me first, and you are your worst critic. So I self-sabotage myself first, and then God literally had to put me on my deathbed. I thought I was gonna die. Wow. When I woke up the next morning, I said, God, what you want me to do? What's the name of this book? Yeah. I went to writing.
Did you just feel ill, or did something happen, or?
I just got sick and I could not breathe and I could not move, and I literally thought, this is it. Yeah. I was like, this is it. I was in the bed. I couldn't even pick up the phone to call anybody, and I'm one of those people. I don't get sick. Yeah. I don't get sick at all, and all of a sudden my body had pain and I couldn't breathe. Wow. And I was scared, and so I just prayed. And I just prayed. And when I woke up the next morning, I said, I got you. Yeah. God, I got you.
Whatever from here on out.
Hey, what you want?
Yeah. So you're working, you're building this People Moving Forward. So tell me a little bit about some of the methods that you use to engage. So you're talking about, doing some paying things where you get paid to speak. Is there a particular methods that you like to use in your motivational speaking? Are people getting to you online? How are they getting a chance to hear some of your speeches?
So right now in this season, where I'm at is I speak to men. So I have but I also do morning motivation. So I have a YouTube channel, People Moving Forward. I do morning motivation. That's that good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah. I do it on Facebook,
Okay.
It's on Facebook and on Instagram. People Moving Forward, and I go live every morning and I give out positive motivation. Also, as well, I service a community of right at 1,000 men, a private Facebook group where I invite men to have a platform to say they not okay. It's okay to say you're not okay. So I have that platform to go along with my King's Mindset, with the book that I have. It's a 31-day affirmation journal.
Okay.
And because what I quickly realized is, the crazy thing is God allowed me to remember when I said I wanted to write the book. I actually wanted to write the book in 2016 when I was working at the prison.
Okay.
I was working at Macon State Prison. I was a correction officer, and I had only been working there about a month. But I quickly realized, besides the Bible and the Quran, it was not a lot of positive things inside the prison. So I told them, I said, man, I wish I had something that can get your mind past where you are. Because like you said, always growing up, I don't care where I am. I'm going to tell you what I know you need to hear.
Yeah.
What's going to get you forward. And I used to tell them guys, even when I worked at the prison, you're going to get out. So what are you thinking about?
Yeah.
What are you going to do when you leave here? And they be like, I don't know. Well, you got all day, every day to think about this.
Yeah.
So you need to start writing this down. You need to start thinking about where you're going past here.
Yeah.
And so when I wrote the book, it really put the things in perspective that even if you're locked up, because I met people who were behind bars who were free, and I met people who were not behind bars who were locked up because mentally in their mind.
Yeah.
So I started the Facebook group just from, I had one just specifically for men, for them to have the safe havens and a safe place.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying, to speak their thoughts and not be judged. No matter what it is that they want to say, they have a platform to say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have that platform, as well as I do one-on-one coaching. So I have a website, www.peoplemovingforward.today, where people reach out to me and they might need one-on-one coaching, mentorship. And I also do group coaching at certain times of the year. I'll open up my group membership, where people can have a community. Because a lot of times people don't have, when you are a visionary and you see something beyond where you are, you don't have anybody to share that vision with.
Yeah.
And, Steve Harvey says it best: you want to kill a big dream, tell it to a small-minded person. So I facilitated a space for those people because I want you to know you can do anything you want to do.
Yeah.
And somebody had to tell me that. And so I love telling other people that.
So tell me, as like affirmation, what does that look like? Is it just general senses of the day and how you are? Is it more specific? Do you have a specific way that you do it, or just kind of what just comes to you that day as far as an affirmation on a day-to-day basis?
Yes. So I have, it's two different things. Okay. One is I have a set of affirmations that I say on a daily basis.
Okay.
I put them on the bathroom, down the bathroom door. Okay. So after I brush my teeth, wash my face and everything, I turn around and I say my affirmations, and I have some as well on my mirror. And what I tell people is, when you start doing affirmations, is actually really simple. The thing that it is that you want to do, write it down on a sheet of paper. The biggest fear you have, like the biggest insecurities you have, write it down on a sheet of paper. Then draw a line and then write down the positive outlook of what that would look like. So let's say somebody would say, if an individual would be like, I'm fat, I'm unhealthy, they don't like their appearance. Well, be real with yourself. Acknowledge that, write it down. But the positive outlook on the other side would be, I am beautiful. I am bold. I am confident. You see what I'm saying? Then you take the paper, you fold it up, you rip it in half, and all those negative thoughts you had, you throw it in the trash can. And every morning you get up and you say those positive affirmations. See, that's what they are. Affirmations are just a way to recondition and retrain our mindset. Yeah. Because words matter. Words, it says you in the
So is it something like, so your behavior, so if you were to say, I'm unhealthy, and you continue to say that to yourself, more than likely your patterns will continue to be unhealthy. But what you're saying is if you were to see yourself as, this is what I really am, then you'll begin to behave as if, you know what, because I want to be more, because you talked about being active and being, not just saying it in words, but like apply it to something, right?
Yes.
So it helps people to apply those goals that they have in their minds or their identity, is what you're saying.
Definitely, because once you speak it, then you'll start doing it. So once you start telling yourself that you are these things, then you'll start creating the habits and the actions behind it to get you where you need to be. Like even with health, I got something that I have to say about health, because now it makes me make better eating habits. It makes me make, workouts. Like I have to tell myself, even when it comes to working out, that for years I've said I hate the cold. This year I had to tell myself I love the cold. I love the cold, because I had to condition myself to work out in the cold. Who spends 6 months working out in the heat and trains their body, and then the other 6 months just eat junk?
Yeah.
So when it comes to affirmations, you have to get to the point where you say, okay, this is what I want to do, but we're spiritual beings living in a fleshly body. So naturally we have fears, but the key is you can speak to the fears.
Yeah.
So that's what affirmations are. It's speaking to the things that we are unaware of, that we don't have confidence in. So you just create affirmations for them. And then I also have a 7-day reset challenge.
Okay.
With the 7-day reset challenge, it can teach anybody, no matter the situation you've been through, is you can reset yourself. And then, I mean, like if people want it, I'll send it to them. They could text push to 404-828-0925. And I will send them like the 7-day reset template. And all it is monitoring what it is you do on a daily basis. So how do you wake up in the morning? What's the first thing you do? You have to condition yourself. When I get up in the morning, I say yes. Yes signifies to the brain that you are ready for what is about to come. So it's like your brain is a factory. So the moment you say yes, just think about it. The moment somebody tells you yes, you get excited. It releases endorphins in the body. So just literally by getting up in the morning and telling yourself yes makes you happy.
Yeah.
The moment somebody tell you no, you look at them sideways.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Yes.
Naturally.
Yeah.
So the 7-day reset teaches people just making little small changes throughout their day, how they can reset themselves and how they can move forward in life. No matter the situation, no matter, the trauma they've had, you can do this. It's possible just by simply words and affirmations.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is definitely, words do matter. And you've got to realize who is influencing you.
Yes.
And your greatest influence is yourself, because you talk to yourself more than anyone else talks to you, right? And so, you've got to deal with that. You've got to deal with that reality and who you listening to, who are you speaking to. As a pastor, we're constantly just encouraging people, listen, go to the Word of God, right? Because that is complete affirmation for why He created you, what your purpose is, and in a thematic way. And then you can look at it in a very practical way of, okay, if God created me this way, where's He leading me? Where's He guiding me? And what you talked about, waking up in the morning and saying, all right, I'm going to have a conversation with the Lord. What is today going to look like? Where are you leading me? And then just recognizing that, you've got to be able to put in the work to say, there's also other people that are influencing me in the negative way.
Right.
And so we've got to be able to deal with that. So let me ask you this. What are some obstacles other than just the practical dealing with the influence of your own mind, but what are some obstacles for young men, let's say, as you're trying to help them and lead them? What are they running into that's causing them to allow themselves to not move forward?
One of the biggest obstacles is knowing how to effectively communicate. It is one of the biggest obstacles I see, mainly because in the African American culture, we're really aggressive. Most people are. You talk with your hands, how you express yourself, projecting your voice. And a lot of people see that as arrogance, or they see it as, not being, you just being aggressive, when a lot of times that's naturally how people are. So when you're in certain settings, you got to know how to effectively communicate what it is that you're trying to say. That also comes with tone. That comes with, you knowing how to control your attitude, not getting upset when people don't really understand what it is that you're saying, what you're trying to convey to them, so that's like one of the biggest challenge. And then not only that, it's like how a lot of people are raised. A lot of people are raised harsh. And, just being honest, the biggest thing college taught me was everybody is not raised the same. Everybody is not. It's a difference.
Yeah.
So when I run into men, and because I love to talk to men, and I've been blessed enough to have so many different men in my life, my cousins, they all have different personalities. But because I was the only female and I had to run with the boys, I got to experience a lot of different personalities from different men at an early age. So in order to talk to them, you got to talk to them a certain way in order to get what you want out of them.
Yeah.
In order to get them to understand you. So when I talk to men today, I'm able to teach them how to effectively communicate. Just showing them, like, maybe if you just lower your tone when you're trying to say something, really important, when you're talking to a female, then they'll receive it well, versus you having a higher tone and now they feel timid, they feel small because you're projecting your voice. And you may not mean any harm, but it's because of your physique. It's because of who you are, your stature. It's because you have weight. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And men have to understand the weight that they carry. So if you want to say something, it's really important that you need to convey to a female, you need to lower your tone. You have to lower it. Because just think, it's a difference between when your mama call your name and when your daddy call your name.
Yeah. Yeah.
You already know.
You're right about that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I have to teach men, it's the same thing when you are talking to your daughters, when you're talking to your sons, when you're talking to your wife, when you're talking to your supervisor. It's certain tones that you have to use. And you have to make sure that you are grounded enough to be able to do this in different settings.
Yeah. No, that's really good. I really, that's a great internal obstacle that most people don't recognize, because a lot of times when we think about obstacles, we think about just the outside. Well, someone's trying to keep me down, somebody's trying to do this,
right.
But what you're communicating is presenting yourself in a way that has the grit to be able to process things, will get you through a lot of those obstacles that would have hindered you, or at least would have gotten you to a point where you're just like, well, I'm going to stop. Say, no, keep pressing through.
Right.
Figuring out what the issue is, because like you said, a lot of people don't know how to communicate. I always say the phrase, people don't know how to people anymore, and so if men are thinking that every conversation that they're having, or a lot of the tense conversations, are threatening, it's hard to move forward. It's hard to say, well, you know what, I just didn't really understand that, because at that point we're done. I don't want to know anymore, and that's not a great way to be relational at all. So. That's really great. And I think, again, looking at Americus and trying to figure out how to help people move forward. So let's think about kind of the future a little bit. And we'll continue to talk about kind of your philosophy and how things are laying out. But in the next 5, 10 years, 15 years, where do you see Americus going? What are some bright spots? What are some potential obstacles that you see, just kind of thinking forward?
So some bright spot is I love Americus at the rate it's growing, because you don't want to grow too fast. You see what I'm saying? Because too fast of exposure can really take someone into a culture shock.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I love that we're growing, but we're not growing at a rapid rate. And so when I look at Americans and look at the rate that they're growing and the things that they're trying to implement, I love it. Because it's a bright future. The things that I wish that we could add would be more things for the youth.
Okay.
because we don't have enough things in place. Like we do have the rec center, and that's great, for the youth, but every child is not an athlete. So what about developing other skills, for painting, music, other things that can develop the kids in order for them to see I got other outlets.
Yeah. And is this a particular age group that you're describing? Like when you think about that, or is it just a wide range of
mainly
kids to adults? So what are you thinking?
For our youth,
Yeah.
mainly from the ages of 9, from the ages of 9 all the way up to 18.
Okay.
And really I'll say from 9 to 21.
Yeah. So what are kids currently doing right now at 9 to 18? Like what are they doing?
TikToking.
Okay.
That's about it.
Yeah.
That's about it. They're on social media. So if we want our community to move forward, then we need to give them activities to take them back off social media. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We gotta substitute that time, because we have to be, reality is there are more single families now. There are more single parent households. More grandparents are not living. You see what I'm saying? There are no more like community activists. There are no more big mamas. There are no more, older people who, help you raise your kids. So as a community, what we need to do is we need to have a facility for these kids, but not just have a facility to place them there, just for them to be going. No, they need to be doing activities. They need to be learning life skills. They need to be learning how to cook, iron, different things, or, exposing them to other things that they can do. Cause that's what I was done. I was exposed to different things, which made my mind start saying, oh, it is more to it than this. You see what I'm saying? Even though I'm from Preston, like I've been so many other places because I was in so many different programs. I was exposed to so much more. So we need to start having programs to expose our kids to more than what it is that we are exposing them to, and have a facility for them to go to. Having counseling, for them to have counselors to talk to, because these kids really do have real issues. The suicide rates in our younger people is going up. Yeah. So they need to have somebody to talk to.
Do you see youth that you talk to? Do they feel open to the concept of counseling more now than they did before? Or
yes.
Or what is the kind of, what is the feel when you think, when you say counseling, maybe with a youth? Are they attracted to that? Or are they just like, I don't want anybody to know my business? Or is it culturally like, well, we don't go to counseling, that's not our thing?
Mm-hmm. I think it's more so is with the youth, they don't like the word counseling. They love words like big sister, big brother. You see what I'm saying? Like they don't like to feel judged. So they need open lines of communication, and they don't need anybody who's cutting them off. They want to be able to say everything it is they need to say. I don't care whether they want to cuss when they saying it. I don't care whether it's not grammatically correct. You see what I'm saying? You have to let them to say whatever it is they want to say. You got to give them the safe place to do that. Yeah. Because oftentimes it's not going to look like what you feel like it should look like.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
you like, this coming from a 9-year-old, you be sitting there like, whoo, Jesus, Lord, give me strength.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But you have to allow them to do that. You got to allow them to get it out. Yeah. And oftentimes, that's once they get it out, then they be like, okay, now they are more open to receive what it is that you have to say to them. But today, in today's society, they do have counseling things available, but it's oftentimes it's one-sided. Is I'm finna tell you what you're doing wrong. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. When it needs to be more open-minded. So for my generation, people, around our age, we need to volunteer more. We have to volunteer more and talk to our youth more, because they're looking at us like, I can talk to y'all. Yeah. I'm really blessed enough. I used to think it was a curse, but it's actually my gift. It's the fact that I look so young. That people be telling me they like, you look like a little baby. But it's been my blessing when I talk to the youth, because they think we the same age. Yeah. They swept down. I can't be no more than a year older than them. Yeah. But that's why I love to utilize my time, because now they're more open to talk to me. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not judging them. Also, when you're talking to kids, how you dressing? Appearance matter. You see what I'm saying? If you're dressing, when I go talk to you, I don't dress as professional. I dress down to the level. So now I just broke a barrier. Yeah. Because now, since I'm not all dressed up, I don't look like I'm higher than them. No, I put on sneakers. Sweatshirts.
So where do you go to volunteer, or how do you engage when you're getting a chance to meet maybe a new group of people, or just looking for opportunities maybe for a youth to engage? Where do you do that?
I reach out to the school
Okay.
because the school sometimes have different programs outside. And then when it comes to sports, blessed enough, my nephew is an athlete.
Okay.
So I get to get in and speak to him that way.
Yeah.
Also as well is through the church.
Okay.
So the church has different programs, different outreaches, and different things like that. And I also always tell people go to the city council meetings.
Yeah.
I always go to the city council meetings and see what's on the agenda, what they have going on, so you can see if you want to volunteer, for that, or tell them, hey, this may be something new that we need to implement.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. All right. Well, I love the idea of, doing things for the community, bringing people together, bringing families together, bringing youth together to be able to engage in different things throughout the city. So let me ask you this. If that were the goal, if that's where we're going, and that's a huge thing to really do as a community,
right.
What's something from your seat, what's one thing that we need to start doing to make that happen? What's one thing that we need to stop doing to make that happen? And then what's one thing that we can never stop doing to make that happen?
One thing that we can start doing is it's a lot of free resources out there. So we got to start utilizing those. And that means that we got to start, getting into different programs. We got to start going to different events and things of that nature, outside of our community to see what resources are for our community and then bring them back. I'm a really, really big advocate for that. That's one thing I do love about myself that I will toot my own horn about. I'm going to a workshop and I'm going to a networking event. That's why my tagline is, if you're not networking with Tasha, I don't know what you're doing with your life, because I love to go to these different events and I bring them back to my community.
That's good.
Because that's what somebody did for me. Miss Ivory Crawford, she used to go out, find resources, and then she brought programs back in for the youth. So we have got to start doing that more on a higher level in every area when it comes to, sending our teachers to different places, sending, our city councilors, to different trainings and things like that. We've got to start doing that more. So you said,
what do we need to stop doing?
Stop doing. We have got to stop being so closed-minded. These youth are smart.
Yeah.
They are so smart. These ain't the youth from some 60 years ago. We have got to stop saying that, they too young. They at the right age. And we've got to start, taking them under our wing. And the thing that we can never stop doing is praying for our kids. We can never stop praying for. We have always got to be praying for our kids and also talking to other people's kids. So with my daughter, I love to let her talk to other people because I can say something and then somebody else can say it to her, and she's like, "Wow, I never thought about that." And I'm sitting over there on the side in my mind like, Dad, that's what I just told you last week.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
We gotta get back to that. It takes a village to raise these kids. So we gotta start, making sure that we reach out to other families. You just see people, they're a single mom and they have these boys. Just reach out and say, hey, can I just talk to the boys?
That's good.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's really good.
You gotta be open to just saying, hey, I know it's a need.
Yeah.
And do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear all these old sayings about, they're going to say this, they're going to think that. I don't want to hear none of that. None of that. It's time to let go of that.
Yeah.
If you never ask, then how will you know?
Yeah. So give me one or two, maybe just basic questions. So let's just say you've known someone for a little bit. So it's not just like out of nowhere, right? But you can tell maybe there's a youth that probably needs some mentorship, needs some motivation. What are one or two just kind of basic introductory questions that can kind of get that ball rolling to see if that would be something they were interested in? So, like you said, you see something, you don't want to just leave it there. How are give us some good questions that we could ask to see kind of where the kid is or where the youth is in light of that.
Literally something as simple as something my grandma always taught me. Good morning.
Good morning.
Literally just speaking. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people don't want to speak. Just literally telling somebody good morning and then they'll respond to you. And then next thing is ask them how are they doing. And then from gauging, I'm the type of person, I operate I'm a vessel. So how you respond lets me know which direction I need to go. Because see, if you respond to me and you say, and I ask you, and I say, how are you doing? You be like, I'm all right. Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's right.
Hold on. Now I'm finna encourage you, and I'm gonna see, do you come up or if you stay at a low. You see what I'm saying? So if you come up, I know that maybe you was just having a bad moment. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You probably was just having a bad moment and you didn't think about it. But if you go down and you're down there and you stay there, okay, we need to dive deeper. It's more to this than that. I look, just like I know you heard my phone going out. I have alarms for gratitude.
Yeah.
Just to remind me, because you're going throughout the day, things happen to you that's out of your control. So you always have to reset yourself during the day. So when you're talking to people, you have to see, you have to gauge where they at, and based upon their tone and the response that they give to you, it'll let you know, do I need to dive a little deeper? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's good.
Or can I just leave them alone? And then the last thing you can always ask people, hey, are you good? You see what I'm saying? After you have a conversation with somebody, you just ask them, are you good? Or you ask them, hey, can I reach out to you? Like, I really enjoyed this conversation, that we just had. Do you mind if you take my social media or my number? If anytime you want to reach out, you give them the option. You see what I'm saying? You put it on the table. Do you want to reach out to me? And you'll be surprised at how many people, it may not be this week or next week, they'll reach out.
Yeah,
or if you get their information, sometimes I just send text messages. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they be like, wow, you don't know how bad I needed that right now.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That's really good. No, I agree with that. Well, let me ask you this. As we kind of, land the plane in our conversation, I want to ask you just a couple of quick questions, just to get to a little bit to know you a little bit more. So what is what's your favorite song? What are you listening to right now? What's your jam?
Right now, what am I listening to? I got a playlist. So actually, you would not believe I done went back to hood music because I had to work out.
Okay.
So I've been listening to a lot of Lil Jon.
Okay.
I've been having to go back to that 2000 crunk music.
Yeah.
Because
it puts you in the mood, huh?
I'm trying to work out.
Yeah.
To get this workout on. So I've been listening to a lot of Lil Jon lately.
That's funny. Oh man. Yeah. I remember that. That's some good stuff.
I had to take it back. I was like, Tasha, you were young.
That's right. Just trying to keep that youth in you.
Yeah, to do these workouts.
Right. What's your favorite restaurant? Where do you like to go eat, or what particular style of food do you like?
So I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm a foodie.
Okay.
I'm a foodie. That's why this working out is a challenge. Love seafood.
Okay.
Absolutely
Nice.
love seafood. I love to try new food. Love to try new food. And I love Southern food.
Okay.
So anytime you want to feed me some cornbread, some collard greens, some fried chicken, I am all for it. But seafood has to be at the top of my list. Nice. And I love Indian food.
Okay.
Yeah, so I love to try different cultures. Like anytime we do the food festival and things like that.
Yeah.
Or the Taste of Something. Anytime we have the Taste of Something, I absolutely love it because
that's great.
I love to try different foods because you never know what you like and what you don't like until you try something else, or you never know how the way you cook something.
Yeah.
It could be just as healthy, but with a different taste. Like I just did a different spin on some collard greens.
Okay.
Now, traditionally, I did the non-traditional way, and my daughter, she loved it, but it was actually healthier than the traditional way. So now I got a new way that every now and then we can cook some collard greens.
Oh, that's great. I love it. All right. Favorite sport?
Favorite sport has to be basketball.
Basketball. College, professional, all of it, or?
It's actually between college and professional.
Okay.
I love the game. I love what it teaches, and I love high school basketball.
Yeah.
And lately, I'm so excited. I'm about to go golfing.
Nice.
I always wanted to try to do golfing.
You'll love it.
Really?
Yes. The thing about golfing is all you need is one good, solid, clean hit, and then you'll want to go back. So you could be on there for 4 hours, completely miss everything. But if you get one good hit, you're like, I want to come back and try that. So don't give up. Just keep working at it. It's super fun. I don't get to play it much, but when I do, it is fun. because you can really take that ball and soar it somewhere.
Yeah,
So
and a lot of people don't know Americus has a golf course.
yeah, that's right. It's off of Elm or.
Yes, it's over there by college. It's over there by Georgia Southwestern.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, great little area there. All right. Favorite family or friend activity that you like to do?
Favorite family activity. I don't know. When we get together, we just do so much. It would have to be, everybody knows me and knows I love to play spades.
What? That's great.
Yes,
Card game?
everybody knows I love to play spades. I carry a deck of cards
That is awesome.
with me. That's how much I really like the game.
Yeah.
Because it teaches you so much.
Yeah.
It teaches you if people are soft. It teaches you if people, because you can trash talk somebody and talk them out your game. Baby, you need to get your mental game together.
Yeah.
And it gives you so much confidence because if you can have a hand and have nothing and still win.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tell people when I sit down at the table, I already start with, I'm going to win.
That's
I'm not
funny.
getting up until I get ready. So spades has to be
That
my
is great.
all-time
That is
favorite.
really cool to know. We are a family who likes, in fact, for my Christmas present that I got myself from all the Christmas money that we got, I actually bought a circle table for games because we love board games. We love
Yes.
card games. And so I found this really great deal with 4 chairs and was like, we're going to get this as a family. And so we love playing board games and card games. It's just a great atmosphere to be
It
in.
is. Trouble, Uno Attack.
All of it. All of it.
Yes.
Have you ever tried like Phase 10? Have you done that?
I haven't did Phase 10.
Phase 10 is fun. Yeah, all the games. We got into what's called Exploding Kittens. That's a weird game, but it's real quick. So for the kids, it's 2 minutes and you're done. I mean, you're either winning or losing. So that was kind of fun. All right. Let me ask you this: if you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go and why?
Oh, I want to go to Egypt.
Okay,
I am going to Egypt.
that is a great place.
Yes, because the reason why I want to go is I'm a firm believer. You don't know where you're going until you know where you've been. So I really want to go see the pyramids. I really want to go experience the culture.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
I
beautiful.
love different culture. I love to learn. You see what I'm saying? Like, how do other people think? You
Yeah.
know, what are their traditions? What are their values? So Egypt is like at the top of my list.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Latosha, thank you so much for coming and being a part of the podcast. As I mentioned earlier in the podcast, we were in the same school together. And so I'm going to go, I've already told us, I'm going to go back to my yearbook. I'm going to find us. I'm going to take pictures and I'm going to send it to you. Just so thankful that the Lord just brought us back together. I'm so happy for you and the things that you're doing. And if you want to continue to learn more about Latosha and what she's doing and how to be a part of that, that's great. And I really look forward to that future too, of this community. I get excited about Americus being here. And I want to know again, what it means to be a good neighbor, what we call a next level neighbor. That's kind of our thing, because neighboring is so key to everything. You talk about community, you're talking about getting together and being unified on things. You're talking about a future. You gotta be good neighbors. You've got to take that seriously. And so mentorship and looking at kids, when we look at the Americus and we say, what, is there a communication problem? Are there what's up with the crime? Honestly, it's just about a community coming together and just asking good questions and just people, just peopling. And when people feel connected, they don't feel like they've got to go prove themselves.
Right.
They just are who they are. And they get to work in that. That doesn't mean that they slack, but that means that they're able to go forward. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I'm excited for you. And I look forward to what's going to be happening in the future for you.
And John, I got to tell you, this is where we go.
Okay.
I got to tell you thank you because you haven't changed. You've grown, but at your core, your heart of hearts, you're still the same person. You still have the same smile, the same personality. When I realized who you were, this is no brainer that you are doing this because you've always been for the people.
Oh,
you see what I'm
thank you.
saying? You've always wanted to help people. You've always been and it's really surprising that you're a pastor because you never wanted to be on the forefront.
Yeah.
Like you've always been quiet.
Yeah.
So, but you've always been outgoing. So this I know is just going next level, new heights. This is going to be so much bigger than what you really thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
This is going to really open a lot of doors and really help move the community forward. So I just got to say big ups and shout out to you.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot. And I am excited for what the Lord's doing. And hopefully we can continue to work together as well as part of the community. So, all right. Thank you all so much. All right.